Gotcha! No, I'm not really going to go play Starfield, but I did want to talk about Starfield a little bit before I go play Fallout 4 tonight. I really, to be honest with you, I had kind of forgotten all about Starfield in the last few months because it was a good game, but not a great game, and I knew that the expansion pack was coming down the pipeline, and I was just planning on, forgetting about it until the expansion pack and then go do a new playthrough. Kind of like I did with Cyberpunk 2077. I did my initial playthrough, and then I just sat on it until Phantom Liberty, and then when Phantom Liberty came out, I went and played it. I did a full playthrough again, and did the DLC alongside it. Did the same with The Witcher 3, etc. Um, and then the patch, this patch update hit. I don't remember. I've covered like all of their patches. I think this is I feel like it's the fifth, something like that patch they've done since launch. And they've all been, we're going to tweak a couple of quests, we're going to tweak a couple of things here, work on something over there. This is the first one I feel is pretty substantial. And it just, it looks like, this is what to me is the kicker. I'm really excited for the DLC that's coming. Shattered Skies, I think is what it's called. The announcement that they're working on land vehicles mixed with the patch made me sit up and go, "Oh, Starfield, yeah, that was a good game." And then looking at this going, "Oh, so you're actively working on making this a great game. Okay, you have my attention now." Because this patch that's coming up on May 15th is not inconsequential. It is substantial, especially for Xbox owners like myself, because they're adding the FPS mode, so we get to choose between visual or performance, and we can prioritize what frame rate we want. And then there's uncapped, so it's like it's finally gonna, in my mind, it's finally going to feel like it has an actual shooter element, because I'll be able to get the 60 instead of the 30, and that's a big deal. I didn't bitch about the frame rate when I played the game the first time. I just mentioned in my final review that I sucked at the gameplay, the gunplay in this game, because it was only at 30, and so that part of the game wasn't as fun to me as, the space combat. I lost easily 100 hours in this game. Easily 100 hours just flying around in space, shooting bad guys, and like doing run missions and like delivery stuff and hunt missions. And dude, I had a lot of fun. I never got tired of like the loading screens and all the different animations that you get with the ship. Like, I just loved it. Like, just sitting down in like the cockpit, and your chair goes up, and and you reach out, and then you're in it, and then you're going and flying around, and you're doing dogfights and stuff. So I had a lot of fun. But these patches are pretty big, and land vehicles is a big. It was not expected. I did not anticipate that at all, because Todd had come out in that interview right after the game came out and was like, "Yeah, we don't have land vehicles, but what we do have are boost packs." Then he went on to promote the boost packs, and it was like, "All right, fair enough. It's how you guys want to do things. It's cool." So this is a really cool addition, and it got me excited for Starfield, and it also made me want to make this video before I go do Fallout 4 tonight. I don't think there's anything wrong with criticizing a company when they have missteps. I would look at, say, Cyberpunk and Red Dead Project, CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk. They screwed up with the launch of Cyberpunk 2077. That was one of the biggest debacles I've seen in my lifetime, right? Like, gaming. And it was definitely up there with one of the biggest, oh man, moments with PlayStation pulling the title. It was a bad time to be CD Projekt Red. And they turned it around. Like, they did good by their customers. They hustled for the next several years, and they made the 2.0 edition of Cyberpunk 2077, and it was fucking brilliant. It was fucking brilliant. And then Phantom Liberty on top of that as a DLC is hands down in my top 3 DLCs of all time. Like, Phantom Liberty is a DLC that was just absolutely breathtaking on a cinematic level, on a visual storytelling level, on a fun level. The acting, but there's a moment where Johnny's like you're dealing with like a landline, like a wall phone, and he's like V's trying to figure it out, and Johnny's over on the side leaning up against the wall, and he just picks it up. He's like, "Duh, just pick it up to your head, dude." And it just there was some really good stuff in that. Anyway, I digress. Bethesda makes good games. Bethesda makes good games. Um, and I am really sick of I'm gonna rant for a minute. I am really sick of the troglodytes coming out of the woodwork. Anytime I'd forgotten how bad it was on my channel until I posted the updates yesterday and said I was looking forward to this, the update and everything else. And the trolls have come crawling out of the woodwork, and I'm inviting more of them just by even mentioning it here. But hey, it's engagement, and that's how this works. Um, the Bethesda has had some hiccups along the way with different things, different projects, but they have consistently made things right with their customer base. And a lot of times the issues are less of an issue and more of just a vocal minority making their voices heard. Like if you look at Starfield commercially, Starfield is one of the biggest games that Bethesda has ever had. Like it's impressive. And yes, there are a vocal minority who really hate Bethesda. Um, but it's tiring to hear those people. Like, there are a lot of us, myself included, who really liked Starfield and had a lot of fun playing Starfield. And it is engagement, but at the same time, it does get very tiring hearing those voices come out of the woodwork anytime you try to say something positive about Starfield or positive about Bethesda, and they just go ape shit. You're not allowed to like Bethesda. You're not allowed to like Starfield. It's like, you know what? Y'all are crazy. It's a good game. They're constantly patching it, working at it. It looks like the patches they're adding are going to make it a great game. Shut up. Go away. Play whatever you want to play. Leave the rest of us to enjoy it. Rant over. And then survival mode. Survival mode was not anticipated at all. That was something where I kind of missed it in the initial watch through the other day. Hang on, I'm jotting some notes down here. And in all of the options they're adding to the game, with the customization of things like money and time and all these other things where you can adjust the settings of all the unique things in the game you want to control. In those settings was basically survival mode settings where you can go in and set the duration and the strength and weakness, etc., of food, drink, and all these other things. And I kind of had skipped over that in the May 15th update. But it's impressive. It is very impressive what they're doing to turn this into something even better than it was at launch. And that's something where I think people should give credit where credit is due and realize that the game may not have been perfect for you at launch, but it was perfect for many, many people commercially. It was very successful, and I loved it. Anyway, Fallout 4 was a similar thing, just earlier. And every time I see people talking about how much they dislike Starfield, they talk about how much they love Fallout 4. And it always makes me chuckle because it's like, well, if you love Fallout 4 so much, and you love Bethesda for having created that game for you, then you just need to refine that love for Starfield because it's the same company. Get over it.